Hey Blake, wonder if you had a couple minutes and you could help me understand the install and usage for Virtual Print Driver.
Of course. Happy to help. Let me go ahead and share my screen.
All right, thanks.
Today, we will be taking a look at the install and usage of Virtual Print Driver, also known as VPD. The licensing requirements for VPD differ on the latest versions of OnBase. For those on EP5 or greater, VPD will utilize simplified licensing, being accessible to those with either the Essential, Standard, or Premier user licenses. If you utilize legacy licensing, the Virtual Print Driver license is required. The MRG additionally points out a few important notes on the installation and usage. When installing, do not set the VPD up as a network printer. When utilizing the printer, please be aware that TIFF images can be quite large depending on your settings. Generally, lower DPI settings and the use of black and white can reduce file sizes. And lastly, the speed of VPD will be dependent on the documents. Larger documents in color or with high resolution will take longer to scan. That being said, this process is still a great alternative as it is considerably faster than printing to paper. Now to begin our installation, to install a VPD, you will have the option of the standard EXE or MSI installers. You can also create a click once package. For this demonstration, we'll use the standard.exe, and that will put us into this installation wizard. During install, you will select your spool directory, where files will be temporarily stored. It is important to note that users running the virtual print driver must have write permissions to this location. Then moving on, you will also select your environment type. Terminal server is for remote desktop environments for machines that can have multiple users logged in simultaneously. Standard is for a workstation that is not in a remote desktop environment. There's also the auto detect option, which is recommended to use as this will determine the variant for you. We can then select next and install. Once that's been completed, you can select Finish to end the installation wizard. Now, to use VPD across the various clients, each will require a unique setup process. For the OnBase client, this will require the printmon switch be applied to our target path on the client's properties. Hitting apply and OK will add that switch so that the client can now receive those documents. And for the Unity client, you can prepare the Unity client to receive documents by installing the VPD listener when first installing the client, or you can modify an existing client through your installed apps by selecting Modify, Next, Change, and then installing the feature on your hard drive. Then you can hit Next once more, Next again, Change, and Finish. With that, you will also want to verify that your obunity.exe.config has a few settings set to true. In this case, it would be the feature name Virtual Print Driver, and in addition, the VPD mail slot should be set to true. And then finally, for the web client, you must enable the Virtual Print Driver for the web server through its web.config file. This will have the Enable Virtual Print Driver set to true. On newer versions of OnBase, the desktop host is also required and should be installed and configured on the workstation to monitor virtual print jobs and stream images to web application. To use Virtual Print Driver, when printing a document, you will go to File, Print, and select the Highland Software Virtual Printer. Then when you select Print, the client you're using to listen will pop up the document import screen. Once this is popped up, you can set the doc type, enter your keywords, and import as you would normally. And just like that, your file will be imported into OnBase. This is how you configure and use the Virtual Print Driver.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. If you have a question that you would like answered on an upcoming question corner, please leave a comment below.